Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lately at Lucid, our biannual user event where we show you the latest and greatest happenings at Lucid Software. I'm your host, Bear Shelton. And today, I'm thrilled to be part of our biggest Lately at Lucid event yet. During this keynote, we have some exciting product announcements for you that will help accelerate major initiatives across your organization and set a new vision for Lucid. After this keynote, stick around for our breakout sessions. You have 4 incredible topics to choose from, and our Lucid experts, including some of the pro trainers from my team, are going to show you how to use Lucid for agile events, process improvement, cloud visualization, and more. I hope you're as pumped as I am. So, why don't we get into it? To start us off, I'm going to turn it over to our CEO, Dave Groh.
Thank you, Bear. I'm excited to be with you today for our biggest Lately at Lucid yet. I know you're going to love the new capabilities we have to show you. But before we get into those updates, I want to set the stage and share where we have been and what our vision is going forward as a business. Lucid was founded back in 2010. It began with our flagship product, Lucid Chart, which was born out of the need for a diagramming application where you could collaborate with other team members in real time. From there, we continued to pioneer the visual collaboration space with the addition of Lucid Spark, our virtual whiteboard. And we later bundled these 2 products to form the Lucid Visual Collaboration Suite. We knew visual collaboration wasn't just boxes and arrows, and it wasn't just sticky notes on a canvas. Visual collaboration means helping teams work together through their entire workflows, from ideation to planning to execution. Now these products are used by more than 100 million people around the world for thousands of different use cases. In fact, in Okta's 2025 Businesses at Work report, released just a few weeks ago, Lucid remains number 12 on the list of most used applications for Fortune 500 businesses. To be the only visual collaboration provider represented on the top 15 list for the last 6 years is not only a testament to our leadership in the market, but also the significant impact that our visual collaboration suite can have in improving the way people work. Let's hear from a few of these customers to see the impact Lucid has had.
I find Lucid to be very good at visual representation, which is, to be honest, what you need when you're planning remotely. It's literally one of the best companies I've ever known for actually listening to their customers and turning what their customers are saying into a set of products or set of functionality. It's quite easy for me to talk about Lucid because I genuinely think you are game changing. So it's not like I'm actually just trying to make this up for camera. I genuinely believe if we didn't have Lucid, I'd be doing this on a whiteboard, like I said.
One of Lucid's strengths is that it is highly collaborative. Lucid provides the ability for multiple business analysts to easily contribute to the same document, whether that would be working on a process map or asynchronously to review and feedback.
Since moving from Visio to Lucid Chart, we dramatically increased the speed to include up to a 25% time savings. And in terms of moving those applications and designs into production, we believe we reduced that latency up to 50%. And if there's one single thing I would say that qualitatively states the power of Lucid Chart, it's the ability to collaborate in real time and to make decisions in real time. And ultimately, that's the thing that usually hung us up in the past. So over the past 2 years, I truly believe the ROI has been met within my organization, and that 25 to 50% time savings, both in modeling and deployment, has been instrumental.
During our breakout sessions, you'll hear more from these customers about how they are using Lucid today. But just from these clips, you can see how people are frequently using Lucid for large-scale transformations across their organizations. And while we are continuing to embrace visual collaboration as core to what we do as a company, we want to extend the value that Lucid can offer by providing even deeper solutions to accelerate these major initiatives that are common among our customers. Lucid is a work acceleration platform powered by visual collaboration that helps teams get aligned and transform their businesses. What types of work can Lucid accelerate? Based on the top use cases we're seeing from our customers, we want to support companies who are, 1, looking for more effective ways to build new software and realize customer value. 2, migrating to the cloud, or continuing to optimize their current systems and infrastructure. And 3, documenting and optimizing their business processes for greater efficiency. These initiatives are complex and involve many cross-functional teams. We're confident that Lucid is the right platform to help teams collaborate, align, and keep moving forward during these large-scale transformations. So we're doubling down on this vision. Today, I'm excited to announce 3 new accelerators that can be added to the Lucid Visual Collaboration Suite. The Agile Accelerator, which will help organizations increase visibility and better scale agile practices to deliver value faster. The Cloud Accelerator, which will help organizations understand the current state and plan future changes to their cloud infrastructure. And finally, the Process Accelerator, which helps organizations standardize and increase governance in how processes are stored, documented, and published. You'll hear more about each of these accelerators shortly and how they take the work that organizations are already doing in Lucid to the next level. Another business need we hear often is around product management and road mapping. Organizations need to create, visualize, and communicate their plans for how they are going to build and deliver products. Instead of creating another solution to solve this need, we've decided to join forces with a company that has already made a name for itself in this space. Lucid has acquired Airfocus, creators of an elegant road mapping and product management platform. Later in this keynote, you'll hear from CEO Malte Schultz. But needless to say, we are thrilled to have the team at Airfocus joining Lucid and to be able to provide our customers with a way to build a single source of truth around their product plans. So I'm sure you're all excited to know more about these new solutions. So for that, I'm going to send you back to Bear and our Chief Product Officer, Dan Lawyer.
Thanks, Dave. I'm so excited about this next step in our journey. As I've talked to customers, I've seen how complex certain initiatives can be, but I also know what value Lucid can provide as teams work together to try to stay in sync throughout a large-scale transformation. As Dave mentioned, we have 3 new accelerators for organizations looking to transform critical aspects of their business. And Bear and I are here to show you how they work. Are you ready, Bear?
Ready and raring, Dan.
Excellent. Let's walk through these one by one to talk through the challenges they solve. First, the Agile Accelerator. Those of you who attended our Lately at Lucid event last October will remember that we're committed to solutions that empower Agile teams, or really any team that wants to make sure they deliver value effectively. Companies are highly motivated to adopt Agile principles and ways of working. But whether you are new to Agile or have years of experience doing Agile at scale is really difficult, and the Agile Accelerator is built to tackle these specific challenges. For example, imagine you are an Agile coach at a company with hundreds of Scrum teams. While teams should be able to adapt Agile practices to their needs, after all, team autonomy is core to Agile. You want to share how different teams have found success and need some level of consistency in order to execute at scale. Bear, can you walk us through how the Agile Accelerator addresses this?
Of course. Let me show you how that's going to work. I'm going to come over here to open the Agile Accelerator. And the first thing I want to show you is how I can set up blueprints to disseminate effective Agile practices in a more scalable way. A blueprint is a set of templates that I can give to teams as a starting point for their Agile work, like product discovery or big room planning. I could start with one of these pre-made blueprints, but let's make a new one. Maybe my organization has some ways of working through a sprint that have proven successful for teams. We've already built out templates for sprint planning, sprint reviews, and retrospectives with these methods in mind. And now I can add all of these templates into a blueprint called Sprint to give teams a consistent starting point. Once I have this blueprint ready, how am I going to get it out to the relevant teams? If I don't already have existing teams created in Lucid, I can upload a CSV from my HR system and create a new team hub in Lucid for each of these teams at my organization. Now I can share this sprint blueprint and send it out to all the relevant teams, making it easily accessible in each of their team hubs. As the teams access the blueprint and work through their sprints, they now have a process to use that's been successful for other teams, but they still have the autonomy to customize the canvas based on their needs.
Amazing, Bear. Now, when we have talked to product and engineering leaders about their large-scale initiatives, the orchestration and oversight that these initiatives require is a challenge. Leaders have access to a lot of quantitative data, like team velocity and burn down charts, but often they don't have an effective way to understand qualitative information, like team confidence, sentiment, or risk. This lack of information can cause leaders to miss warning signals of timelines in jeopardy or even team burnout until they are too late to address. Leaders may even ask Scrum teams to create reports with this information, but then they are pulling the teams away from building. Bear, what's our solution?
Well, let's go back to the demo and see. Here's the blueprint I created using the Agile Accelerator. If I go into any one of these templates, I can identify certain components that need to be completed to collect and share insights. For example, I might lock this visual activity that gauges team confidence. We want to make that activity a consistent part of the sprint for teams to complete. And I'm also going to choose to share these insights because team confidence is critical information for executives and managers at my company. Now that insights are enabled, let me show you what happens when the blueprint is being used. Once team members start completing the activity, their responses, along with other teams' responses, are automatically collected and summarized into this comprehensive dashboard. At a glance, management can get a pulse on how each team is doing and determine who might need extra support. They can even filter down to the information from a specific set of teams to really gauge how certain work streams are progressing. This is huge for leaders at a company. They have greater visibility into team health and work progress, and teams can naturally provide insights without anyone spending precious time manually building out reports.
Bear, I love this. Getting that qualitative information is going to be so easy. Now, there's one final challenge that our Agile Accelerator aims to solve. Within organizations, there are multiple levels of planning. Teams planning out their sprints, programs planning out quarterly initiatives, and executive leadership planning company-wide initiatives. Any of these scenarios have a lot of considerations that could affect the ultimate plan, such as time, dependencies, scope, team capacity. The list goes on. Teams need a way to visualize potential scenarios using all these data points, especially when the data is found in different data sources or is not documented at all. You want to be able to change one element and see how that change affects the rest of the scenario to make smarter, data-driven decisions during planning. Luckily, Lucid has a solution. Bear, are we ready to show it off?
We sure are, Dan. The Agile Accelerator offers a scenario planning tool to help explore different possibilities and make smarter decisions. Let's imagine we're doing some program-level planning. We're trying to figure out how to finish tackling 3 big initiatives in time for a product launch that's just 12 weeks away. By tapping into Lucid's integration with Jira or Azure DevOps, we've quickly pulled in all the epics we need to complete and given them a rough t-shirt size. Now, to help us forecast our path forward, I'm going to open up this new scenario planning tool. First, I'll add a new plan to my canvas, and I'll list out those 3 key initiatives. Next, I can add Scrum teams to each initiative. As I add them, the estimated capacity increases based on assumptions we have about average velocity and other factors. Now, let's see what happens when I assign an epic. First, the card automatically resizes based on the estimated velocity of those Scrum teams. When I drop in an extra large epic, it stretches across a longer amount of time. And you can also see that we get real-time feedback on how this scenario is mapping across our timeline. If we get a sense that we're planning too aggressively, we can adjust. As we keep plotting out this product launch, we can map out dependencies, and we can prioritize the highest impact items. We like how this scenario is shaping up, but it does leave out a few nice-to-have items by that product launch deadline, so we want to play with a couple of other scenarios. I can duplicate this plan, and now we're able to make adjustments based on a different set of assumptions, all while keeping our first plan intact. One option is that we add another Scrum team to this initiative. When I do that, the epics automatically resize based on that higher estimated capacity. And we could create multiple plans from there, giving our team an easy visual way to compare all potential scenarios. We're well prepared to adapt no matter what comes our way. But given our current circumstances, we decide to move forward with this particular plan. Now, the stage is set for each of these Scrum teams to go do their more detailed sprint planning. Speaking of which, teams face similar challenges with planning, just on a more granular scale. But scenario planning with the Agile Accelerator works great for them too. Let's say I'm on a Scrum team and we have a handful of stories that need to be completed over the next few sprints. I can add our estimated capacity based on assumptions we have about planned time off, average velocity, and other factors. Now we can quickly see where our estimated points exceed our estimated capacity. Before we start mapping out alternative options, I can pause the sync with Jira or Azure DevOps. Now, our teams can test different scenarios without affecting our system of record. Once we're all aligned, I can resume the sync, which automatically transfers these task details and timelines to Jira or Azure DevOps. And now we can confidently get to work. The Agile Accelerator makes it possible for everyone, from team members to company leaders, to forecast future scenarios and then put those plans into action.
Thanks, Bear. The Agile Accelerator will launch at the beginning of May, with certain features, such as duplicating scenario plans, becoming available later in the year. And as you can see, there's a ton of functionality to look forward to. Now let's shift to the Cloud Accelerator. More and more companies operate on huge cloud environments instead of on-prem servers. Moving to the cloud can reduce IT costs and make it easier to scale computing resources. There are so many benefits that it's a no-brainer. But as great as all that is, operating in the cloud can be really challenging. These cloud environments are incredibly complex. It's so difficult to understand them and even more difficult to make informed decisions about them. That's a massive gap for something that's so central to the health of a business. Now, you may be familiar with Lucid Scale, our cloud visualization solution that we launched in 2021. With this solution, organizations have been able to automatically generate models of their cloud environment to better understand and optimize it. Now we have reimagined this solution as the Cloud Accelerator to better incorporate cloud visualization into the Lucid suite. And I'm excited to walk you through that experience of how Lucid provides end-to-end support for cloud projects. Bear, are you ready?
I was born ready, Dan. Let's say I'm on a cloud operations team that is migrating one of our largest services from Google Cloud to AWS. Within the new Cloud Accelerator, I can access blueprints. Just like we mentioned with the Agile Accelerator, these are sets of templates that streamline a workflow. My company already has a blueprint customized for cloud migrations that includes current state architecture, dependency diagrams, and target environments. So I send this blueprint to my team to give us a strong foundation for the project. That blueprint is then accessible from our team hub. Fast forward a bit to the team working through dependency diagrams. As we're plotting out how different parts of the new system will rely on each other, we want to reference our current state architecture. I can access cloud data that we've already imported, and then I can create a cloud model directly in Lucidchart where my team is already working. No exporting, no recreating. If our cloud environment changes, I can refresh, and the model stays in sync. We can add annotations, and we can move these cloud shapes to make more sense of what's happening in the system. And if our team needs to visualize another system, I can also drop in additional cloud models as needed. With the Cloud Accelerator, our team can seamlessly move between fully connected cloud visualizations, future state diagramming, and brainstorming. We have everything we need to take this cloud migration project from start to finish.
Amazing, Bear. Another issue that makes managing cloud systems so difficult is the amount of data involved. Some enterprises manage dozens or even hundreds of cloud accounts, which could make importing data a labor-intensive process. How does the Cloud Accelerator help?
Oh, Dan, it's easy to import and share cloud data with the Cloud Accelerator. I have the ability to import an entire organization at one time, whether I'm on AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Let's go with AWS. When I start the import process, I can connect to my entire AWS organization. When I select that option, Lucid will load all of my AWS accounts. But if there are accounts that I don't want to import, such as an account with sensitive data, then I can limit my selection. I'll start the import, and it'll run in the background. Now, what's amazing about the Cloud Accelerator is that you only need one person to go through this setup process one time. Once my entire AWS organization is available in Lucid, I can share this data with the rest of my team so they don't have to waste time importing the data for themselves. For example, I know that these AWS accounts are of particular importance to the SRE team. I can select the SRE team and send these AWS accounts just to them. Now, they can take that data and immediately create their own models and views. No one on that team has to go through the whole import process again since I've already done the work. The Cloud Accelerator gives our entire organization access to a unified set of data for modeling and planning without all the manual labor and redundancy.
We'd love to see that. Finally, I want to talk about cloud artifacts, such as cloud models, architecture diagrams, and annotated workflows. Cloud teams rely on these artifacts to make informed decisions, but they become outdated or inaccurate really easily. These artifacts are often made up of common components or assets. And if a cloud team updates that resource in one artifact, they'd have to manually make those changes across every other instance. It just doesn't happen. So Bear, show us how we can plan to help cloud teams create and maintain accurate cloud artifacts.
Lucid is introducing a new service to help us out. Let me show you. This is called the Asset Builder, and it's a collection of items that show up frequently in our cloud environment. Each of these are reusable elements that my team can use to create consistent cloud artifacts. For example, I created this user data storage asset that frequently shows up in our systems. Beyond creating the visual itself, I can assign properties and metadata, and I only have to enter that information once for this asset. Now, when my team is building out high-level models, they can go to the Asset Builder and pull this user data storage asset into their documents. They don't have to manually recreate it every time. But what if we notice that some of the services in user data storage could use some slight adjustments to more accurately reflect how that system functions? No problem. I can zoom into that specific asset from any of the places we're using it and make updates. Once my team and I are satisfied with the changes, we can initiate a review from any necessary stakeholders. And once approved, we can push that modified component across all the different artifacts where we want the update to be reflected. This is how we maintain accurate cloud documentation without all the manual labor.
I love that. Not only does the Asset Builder save time, but it also ensures that teams make important decisions based on accurate information. Fantastic. I'm sure you're all dying to know when you can get your hands on the Cloud Accelerator. The initial launch will happen at the beginning of May, and current Lucid Scale customers can get access to this new and improved experience. The Asset Builder and blueprints will arrive later this year. Okay, Bear, there's one more accelerator to talk about, the Process Accelerator. This is going to be a game changer for so many of our customers. Flowcharts and process maps remain the top visuals that our users create in Lucid. And for larger enterprises, especially those in highly regulated industries, keeping well-defined and well-documented processes is essential. But one challenge we see from a lot of customers is that process documentation isn't easy for employees to find. It's often scattered across different tools and systems. And even if employees know where to look, they don't have much confidence that those processes are up to date or even approved. Bear, how does the Process Accelerator help with this?
One word, Dan: repositories. Let me pull up the Process Accelerator and show you what a repository looks like. This is the dedicated space for official company documentation created in Lucid. It's the single source of truth for any line of business. Each repository contains only approved, up-to-date documentation, such as standard operating procedures, process maps, flowcharts, and more. Anyone at my company can search these repositories, filter the results, and view any of the processes. But the ability to make changes remains highly controlled. Anyone can request changes, or even propose new documentation. But only the owners of the repository can actually make or approve changes. Speaking of owners, let me show you what it's like to own a repository. Let's just say I'm in charge of risk management at my company, and our enterprise admins created a risk management repository for me to set up. I'm listed as an owner of this repository, and I make 2 of my team members owners as well. These are going to be the people who can manage and approve the content of this repository. Next, I can add process documentation. I'm only going to pull in documents that are going to continue forward as our source of truth. Now anyone at the company can view these documents since they're published in the repository. But future changes have to be made or approved by me and the other repository owners.
Excellent. So now all of our processes are centralized, and all users on the Lucid account have access to view these processes. But what happens when we do need to update process documentation and get approval? Changes require input from a lot of different stakeholders, and you don't want to waste resources tracking down the right people. Bear, how can the process accelerator standardize this approval process?
Yeah, I'm happy to show you. Let's go back to the repository. We notice that this process needs to be optimized as a part of a current business initiative. I can create a draft of this process so that me and my team can freely work on iterations without impacting the published document. While we work on this new draft, the current approved version remains visible to the rest of the company. Once we've made our updates and optimized this process, I'm ready to send it through the approval flow. We've already identified users who would need to review and approve changes to anything in this repository, and I can add any other stakeholders as well. Each reviewer will receive a notification in their communication tool that their approval is needed. When they view the process in Lucid, they can see which items have been updated and either deny or accept the changes. Once the necessary reviewers have approved the change, I can publish the draft as the current version. So now it's visible to everyone who views it within the repository. Incredible. If I ever need to refer back to the previous version of the process, I can see the version history from the repository. This provides me with a comprehensive view as to how the entire process has evolved.
That's so cool. It's efficiency on multiple levels. Companies can make sure that their processes get updated to be as efficient as possible and save time while doing so. And while we're talking about saving time, one last challenge is the amount of time it takes to make updates to many processes at once. Processes often have common components or assets, and if one of them needs an update, that asset could be found in hundreds of processes, leaving some poor team members to track down every place that assets lives and make updates one by one. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Help.
I've got you covered, Dan. Similar to what we saw with the cloud accelerator, the process accelerator includes an asset builder. It allows you to build and manage assets that show up frequently. But for this use case, that would include subprocesses, shapes, and roles, plus their corresponding metadata. Let's say I'm building out a process for closing customer accounts. At this stage of the flow, we need to handle personally identifiable information, or PII. I know this is a common subprocess across a lot of our documentation, so I search for that asset in the asset builder, and I can just pull it onto my canvas and add it into the larger process without having to create it from scratch. And you know, once I take a look at this specific subprocess, I realize that the way we're handling PII is actually out of compliance. That could result in major fines and public backlash for my company. So I gather my team to make the necessary edits. We send it out for review via our approval flow, which you've already seen. Once approved, I can then publish the changes. And with just one click, I'm able to deploy the updated asset across all affected processes within the repository. Now, our PII handling flow is updated across every process document where it's being used. If it wasn't for the asset builder, I'd be manually tracking down all these instances and making the updates one by one.
And we certainly don't want that, Bear.
No.
With the process accelerator, you can create and maintain consistent documentation with far less effort. Look out for this solution coming this summer. We are very excited about the ways we'll deliver compelling solutions for agile, cloud, and process. At the same time, we continue to invest more broadly in our core suite to make it easier for every user to collaborate with their teams. We continue to improve how teams can interact in the Lucid suite with our team hubs. Recent enhancements to our AI capabilities help users work more efficiently in the ways they already use Lucid, such as creating polished visuals and uncovering key insights. We also have exciting updates coming in the next month with industry-leading assisted layout capabilities on all of your Lucid canvases. And of course, there's one more announcement that we want to dig into. And for that, I'd like to welcome our SVP of Strategy and Operations, Jamie Lyon.
Thanks, Dan. Well, I'm just as enthusiastic about our new accelerators as Dan and Bear are. I'm here to give you the details of our other major announcement, the acquisition of Airfocus. I hope you can feel our excitement through your screens. This is a major milestone for Lucid, and we're glad to have found a company that shares our vision for how teams should collaborate. Road mapping is a key activity for product teams as they build plans for how they will build and deliver products. Like many areas, complex product plans are easiest to understand and share visually. Organizations with multiple product or scrum teams working together also need to understand dependencies and integrate with other tools to prioritize and track focus areas accordingly. But most organizations are cobbling together spreadsheets and slide presentations to do this work. And over the years, customers like yourselves have asked if we could provide a solution for road mapping and product portfolio management. So we've dabbled with some related features, but road mapping by design is more structured and rigid than our Lucid Canvas, so it can serve as a strong system of record for product teams. Rather than building a solution from scratch, we felt that we could deliver a solution for our customers faster by acquiring a company that is well established and innovating within the space. To tell you more about Airfocus and its origins, I'd like to introduce CEO and Chief Product Officer Malte Schulz.
Hi, I'm Malte Schulz, co-founder, CEO, and CPO of Airfocus. I'm beyond excited to be here today to share this big milestone with you. 7 years ago, as a product manager at a mid-sized SaaS company, I constantly ran into the same frustrating problems. Lack of roadmap visibility and transparency, misaligned communication and broken trust between teams. No single source of truth, just scattered spreadsheets, slide decks, and an ultra-chaotic Jira setup. These issues led to poor decisions, wasted efforts, and frustration across the board. I kept searching for a tool to fix this, but nothing fit the bill, so we built one. We started with a simple prioritization and road mapping tool, and fast forward to today, and Airfocus has now evolved into the most flexible AI-powered product management and road mapping platform, used by hundreds of mid-market and enterprise companies worldwide. With Airfocus, product leaders finally have a home to do their work. They can bring all of their roadmaps, teams, and strategy under one roof and enjoy a single source of product truth to ensure transparency at every level. No matter how complex their product setup, multiple teams, dependencies, shifting priorities, they can stay in sync and instantly drill down from high-level company OKRs to a single Jira user story. And because Airfocus acts as their structured system of record, they can easily slice and dice their roadmaps for every stakeholder on demand with just a few clicks. Our customers see incredible results. One of our lighthouse customers, Nathan Thomas from Ricoh, shared this. By making Airfocus the single source of truth for our 30+ product portfolio, we deliver 45 releases per sprint, fully aligned with strategy. This is the power of structured, insights-driven product management at scale. I couldn't be more thrilled to join forces with Lucid and bring even more value to product teams worldwide. Together, we're helping teams accelerate their work, align better, and build the future faster than ever. Let's go.
Thank you, Malte. You can see how Airfocus already aligns with our mission at Lucid. But the next natural question is how our customers can best use Airfocus and Lucid together. Together, Lucid and Airfocus provide organizations with both the structure and the freedom required to move from ideation to reality. product teams can collaborate and brainstorm intuitively within Lucid, and then quickly transform that work into epics, roadmaps, or other sources of truth within Airfocus. Both Lucid and Airfocus integrate seamlessly with Jira and Azure DevOps to ensure that teams track tasks effectively and stay in sync as velocities and priorities inevitably shift. With this level of vision, clarity, and execution, product teams can more effectively align their work to strategic company priorities, integrate customer and stakeholder feedback into their plans, and collaborate with other development teams to maximize their output. As part of this announcement, we are also launching an integration between Airfocus and Lucid to make it even easier to work between these products. If you would like to learn more, I'd encourage you to join our breakout session featuring Malta or review the resources provided after this event.
What a note to end on, Jamie. Thank you. I hope you're all as excited as I am about Lucid's future and these new accelerators and products. And there's more to come. Next, we'll head into the breakout sessions. There are 4 options that you can choose from, all related to the use cases that we talked about today. You'll learn more about our new solutions, plus ways that you can use Lucid right this second for agile transformation, process improvement, and cloud optimization. Although we unfortunately can't be in all places at once, we'll send out the recordings after this event so you can go back and watch multiple sessions if you'd like. So, take a quick break, join your next session, and thank you so much for being here for Lately at Lucid.